Hi, I just want to drop in here before the start of this video just to talk about everything that's going on in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the moment. I feel like it's completely irresponsible for people to not be talking about this and using any sort of platform that they may have to comment on what is happening. Obviously, I don't have a huge following on this platform, but I do have a following on Instagram and also my band's Instagram. So I just feel like as a person of privilege, I need to use that to sort of spread awareness and talk about what we need to be doing. If you didn't already know, there are riots currently happening in Minnesota due to the murder of George Floyd by a police officer. It started out as peaceful protests, as they always do when Black people are protesting about their welfare and their right to life, which is ridiculous. They shouldn't have to be doing this. And unfortunately, because of police interference, it turned into a violent riot, and it's now turned into looting and things like that, which rightfully so. I think it's important to note the difference between when there were protests going on by white supremacists and people protesting the lockdown measures in their towns, when they're holding AK-47s outside official buildings and there is no police presence or little to none, and if they are protecting these people rather than throwing tear gas at them or, arresting them for no reason. And the main difference between these two protests is that one of them is largely white people and the other is largely Black people. As a white person and fellow white people, we need to be using our privilege of our skin colour to boost voices of Black people, to do what we can to help them. It shouldn't be a radical thing for them to want to live. It shouldn't be a radical thing for us people to help those people and to support them and to try and keep them safe. I'll leave a couple of links down in the bio of places that you can donate some money. There is a GoFundMe for George Floyd's family to cover funeral costs, therapy costs, and things that they will need. There is also a fund, I can't remember the exact name, it's just silly, but basically it's a fund where you donate money, so if people are wrongfully arrested during these riots, then they will use that money towards their bail. So definitely I highly recommend, if you can, to donate to those places. If you can't donate, or even if you can and you want to do more, things like sharing social medias, sharing things that are going on. Personally, I want to buy some books to start helping myself unlearn racist ideals and white supremacist things that we are just taught from birth. It is a thing that happens. Unfortunately, that's just the way the world is. White people, you can say you're not racist as much as you want to, but unfortunately it is ingrained into us from a very young age that we are the superiority. So you need to be consistently unlearning these things. We need to be working to unlearn all of this. Yes, sorry, I didn't want to spend too much time talking about this because I've been speaking about it quite a lot on my Instagram, and there's a lot of stuff going on Twitter about it. Basically, educate yourselves, use your skin privilege to your advantage, help these people, and basically ACAB and Black Lives Matter, and they always will. Now let's move on to the video. Hi, welcome to my channel, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name's Kat Ravel. So I've watched quite a few of these styles of videos where basically people just go through their entire eyeshadow palette collection and they show you and swatch their favourite shades from each palette. I think it's so satisfying to watch, and I just wanted to do it myself, basically. I'll link a couple of examples down below of ones that I've seen, but my favourite definitely has to be Julia Mazzucato's. I really like her video where she does this, but there's a lot of examples. I just think they're really satisfying to watch, and I just like knowing why people were drawn to certain palettes. I think I'm gonna sort of live swatch things as we go. As you can see, I am a tattooed lady, so I don't have a huge amount of space on my arms, but we'll use as much as we can, basically. I'm gonna sort of do this by brand. I was going to spend some time and like get different colour categories, but I think that'll just take me too long. So I'm just going to go by brand, and I'm basically just going to pick a shadow just from looking at the palette whilst I'm on camera. So the first palette I'm going to go to from ColourPop, which is my favourite ColourPop eyeshadow, and I think it's despicable that ColourPop discontinued this. This is the Good Sport palette. This is the colour story. It's a little bit jumbled, but everything works really well together. You got mustard yellow, these two purples, got some neutrals, and then some greens. And I really, really love this palette. But my favourite shade absolutely has to be Licious, which is probably a bit boring to some, but personally, I absolutely love a green-based gold, and that is what this is. So I'm going to start on my wrist there. You can see it's really pretty, really nice greeny gold. I absolutely love this, and my favourite look to do with this palette is those purples in the crease and then this gold on the lid, and it is beautiful. Next up is the Yes Please palette, which is absolutely disgusting because I've had it for such a long time. And this is very warm toned. It's a very nice palette. I do enjoy it. I think it's supposed to be a dupe for a Natasha Denona palette. I'm not sure which one. But definitely my favourite shade in this is this orange one here, which is called Note to Self, I think. I get a bit confused when eyeshadow palettes have things on the back because I don't know whether it's like which way around it is. But this is basically an orange shimmer. And I love a good orange. That is that one there. I think it's so pretty. It's really reflective. I love this eyeshadow. And then lastly from ColourPop is my My Little Pony palette. This was a limited edition release and it's nice. It's not my favourite palette in my collection by any means. I don't get a lot of use out of it. I want to get more use out of it. I think my favourite shade in this palette is the shade Firefly, which is like a white to blue duochrome. It's really special. I don't think I have anything else in my collection like it, which is why I don't want to declutter this palette, because it's got some shades in there that are not like anything else that I have. Oh, I hate that this is the only space I have free on my arm because it's hard to show you. But yeah, it's got like a blue kind of lilac duochrome flip. It's really pretty. I'm sorry that I'm spending most of the time looking at my monitor, but I'm just trying to make sure that you can see what I'm trying to show you. Now I'm going to move on to my Ace Beaute palettes. The first one I'm going to show you is the Flair palette. One of my favourite palettes in my collection. I have a 3 Looks 1 palette up on my channel with this, and I absolutely adore this palette. Oh, I don't know what is my favourite. I think I'm actually going to give the favourite position to this shade, Atlantis. It's a dark teal and it's gorgeous, because I do like the shimmers a lot in this palette, but the mattes are, I don't have a lot of mattes like that in my collection. So that is Atlantis. It's a dark teal. Gorgeous. Next up is the Oceanic palette, which is a blue-green palette. Again, I have a 3 Looks 1 palette up on my channel with this. And my favourite shade, I think I've got to give it to Mykonos. It's this seafoam green shimmer. It's absolutely, oh, it's so gorgeous. And it's so creamy and pigmented and delicious, and I absolutely love it. And you can see the shine. So pretty. A lovely, lovely, lovely shade. And then lastly, for the Ace Beaute, I have my Slice of Paradise palette. This is a lovely little rainbow palette. It's very curated. I really like it. And my favourite shade is definitely Persimmon, which is like a really yellowy orange. but it's such a nice shade. I'm going to go along here, I think. Yeah. I think it's so nice. This is a shade I really love just throwing all over the lid. I absolutely adore this shade. I really, really, really do. And I really love this palette. It's definitely one of my favourite rainbow palettes. Talking of rainbow palettes, let's go in to my EYN Bright Matte palette. This has got a lot of shades in it, so it's kind of hard to pick a favourite. This look I'm wearing today is actually created by this palette. It's going to be in a 3 looks 1 palette with it, which should be uploaded soon. I think this one is actually drawn between the shades Hello Sunshine and Slice of Lime, which are these two here. So this is Hello Sunshine and this is Slice of Lime. So it's like a really bright yellow and a lime green. So that's Hello Sunshine. It's one of the best yellows in my collection, definitely. And I've got that all over the lid today. And then this one is Slice of Lime. I didn't swatch great, but I'm not good at swatching. Yeah, that's Slice of Lime. I love it. I don't have many lime greens in my collection, and I like that one a lot. I have 2 palettes from Juvia's Place, so let's go into these. I'm going to start with the Tribe palette, which is this gorgeous green and orange palette. And my favourite shade is the shade Cocoa, which is, it looks like a cream in the palette, but it is a green to gold flip. It is absolutely stunning. It's one of my favourite shades to pop in the inner corner. It is truly gorgeous. I really love this one. And then I have the Nomad palette. My favourite shade is that one, slap bang in the middle. It doesn't have a name, but it's like a cooler toned gold shimmer. It's really, really pretty. That's that one there. Oof. I think it's absolutely stunning. It's probably the reason that I bought that palette, was I was really drawn to that shade. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I have a couple of palettes from Beaute Glazed, so let's go in these. This is the Melon palette, which is a really cute little palette. It's a dupe for one of the Huda Beauty Neon eyeshadow palettes. And my favourite shade in this palette is this shimmer lime green, which is this one here. It looks way gold when it's swatched out, but on the eyes it looks very green, and it is so, so cute. I love that palette. And then in the Saturn palette, which is this orange and brown, very lovely neutral palette, I think my favourite is this bright orange matte that's right here. I think that's my favourite of the bunch. I like a good bright orange eyeshadow. Yeah, it's very nice. I like that a lot. In the Jouer Tan Lines palette, which I've only used a few times, and to be honest, I don't know how I feel about it. I think we can all guess which shade made me want to buy this palette. This one. It's called Tide Pool, and it is a dark blue to purple duochrome. Ooh, I'm sure that would look so much better over a glitter primer, but there's not too much of a base to it. It is purely just like glitter, and it is so beautiful. I will say it's probably one of the only things I like about that palette. The mattes just, other than the lime green, all those like peachy mattes, which is one of the main reasons I got it, just don't perform particularly well. But that is just, I mean, you can see it, I can see it. Let's go into my Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette now. That's this here. And my favourite shade in this palette is this one here, which I think is called Casablanca. And it is a pink, peach and green reflect. I hope you can see that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got a very pinky peachy base, and then it's got all these like lime green sparkles through it. It's so pretty, and on top of a glitter glue, it is really, really stunning. I really like that one a lot. Sorry that I'm whizzing through these. I just don't want this to be a very long video. So I am just plowing on through. Let's go through my Makeup Revolution palettes. I only have 3. The first one is the Make Magic palette, which is in the collaboration with Kami. And my favourite shade is absolutely You Got This. This one here, it's a purple to light blue duochrome, and it is gorgeous. It's like a take on those like blue brown shades. Oh, I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. Like, you can really see that. It's like purple, light blue. Stunning, stunning. And then I have a couple of their little mini palettes. These are actually recent purchases. Why can I never talk? This is the mini Tasty Peach palette. I think this is so freaking adorable. I just wanted some more like peachy eyeshadows in my collection because, as I said, that the peaches and the tan lines didn't really work for me. So these really add to that sort of gap. And definitely my favourite shade, which I think is just called 6. Like, they're not named, is this like peachy baby kind of pinky reflect shimmer, which is that one there. It's so pretty. I absolutely love that shade. I think it's so gorgeous, so reflective, so bright. I've just been recently, like, if I'm going to work and I don't want to put a full eyeshadow look on, I just tap that all over the lid and it looks really gorgeous. And then the other one I got is the Black Pearl palette. Nabla have a cool tone palette, which I really wanted, but I didn't want to spend, I think it's like £30 for a £6 eyeshadow palette, and I didn't want to spend that money. So I bought this one instead, and my favourite shade is absolutely this silver, which is number 4. Oh my lord, this is, I barely touched that, and it is the most icy, bright silver. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Woo, look at that. Shiny, shiny. If I was on the shiny show, I'd win with that. I can't remember if that was the concept of the shiny show. Let's look at my Kaleidos palette. I think we can come up onto my hand. Let's come up onto my hand and do some up there. Let's go first into the VR Neon, which is my favourite of the 3 that I have. I absolutely love this palette. And my favourite is, of course, the bright pink Easter egg, which is just so gorgeous, so sparkly, so special. I absolutely love this shadow. So gorgeous. And then into my Futurism number 5, the oh my god, I hope I got that on camera. That just fell out. Oh my god, no. Oh, it's gone everywhere. That is such a bummer because I really like that eyeshadow. Well, at least my carpet's now all blue and sparkly. I hope my landlord doesn't mind. I'm gonna be really, as I was saying, this is the Electro Turquoise palette. And actually my favourite shade in here, surprisingly, is that orange. When I know the palette is supposed to be the turquoises, but I absolutely love this orange. It's really soft, it's really light. I really like the tone of it. It's like a tangerine-y kind of orange. I really like that. I'm going to be too scared to open this palette ever again, to be honest. And then last but not least for the Kaleidos, we have the number 1 Sci-Fi Green, which is this one here. And my favourite shade is that green gold, which is called Glamoura. Oh, it's a stunning olive green shimmer. That's that there. Look at that! Look at that! Wow, that is so gorgeous. I can't wait to, I really want to dig into that palette. I haven't actually used it. I've used it twice, I think, but it's just such a sort of like autumnal kind of colour scheme. So I think when it gets a little bit darker, this will definitely be pulled out more. Okay, we're swiftly running out of room here. So I might have to move. I have a little bit of space up here. We could maybe use this little bit of space. My hands are covered in glitter from that broken eyeshadow. We're going to go into my Morphe Pride palette. Now, I just want to say I'm not usually one for rainbow capitalism, but this was, I think 100% of the net proceeds went to the Trevor Project, which is an LGBTQ charity. Whereas most brands that do Pride collections, usually it's only like 10 or 20%, which is just not a lot, and you're profiting off people buying this stuff because it represents the community that they are a part of, but then you're not actually contributing a lot to that community. So this is the only rainbow capitalist thing I have fallen for, and that was because 100% of the proceeds went to it. But this is what it looks like. It's my other sort of rainbow palette, and my favorite shade is this green down here called Thrive. It's not a lime green. Can I fit that on here? I can fit it on here. It's not like a, it's so hard to explain. It's like a murky lime green. I don't know what it is about it, but I absolutely love this shade. I think it's so nice. Next is my Keilidh Urban Bible palette, and I freaking love this thing. It's a complete mess because I use it so much, but this is one of my favorite palettes in my collection. It's definitely one of my go-tos. I think it's completely underrated and it deserves more love and recognition, and my favorite shade in this is definitely the shade Chaos here, which is one of those purple, blue, brown duochrome flips. Let's go up next to my house. Can you see that? I really hope you can. I'm having to put my arm in a very weird position. But this shade is absolutely stunning. It's very similar to the one that's in that Makeup Revolution Make Magic palette that's like, I don't know how to show you the flip. Hi, sorry, if anything looks any different, it's because my camera stopped recording and I'm not sure where we got up to. We're on to the Sample Beauty Rain palette, which looks like this. It's a really sweet little neutral palette. It's nice for traveling. I like it. I think it's got good quality. And my favorite shade is definitely Gloriana. The gal is predictable. She likes greeny, antique-y gold kind of shades. And that is what that one looks like. It's so pretty, but so simple, so basic. And then the last of my absolutely massive palettes is this BH Cosmetics Zodiac Love Signs palette, which looks like this. The shimmers in this are baked and they are so beautiful and shiny and glittery and lovely. I absolutely adore these. I think I'm going to go with Virgo. I think Virgo is my favourite. This one here, it's like a peach. Yeah, it's like a peachy shimmer. It's really pretty. And let's just pop that. Right, did I just go over? I'm really bad at swatching, but you can see that. It's a really gorgeous, soft, peachy shimmer. I really, really love that one. And then last, but certainly not least, is my Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. This is the newest palette to my collection, and I absolutely love this one. I've only used it once, so I really shouldn't be talking too much about how much I love it, but I had such a good time playing with it. It's so gorgeous, and my favourite shade is going to be the shade Phoebe, which is this one here, and it's like a purple with blue sparkles through it. So let's do this one. It's so pretty, and I cannot wait to do a look with that all over my eyeballs. So here we have it. Here are all of my favourite shades from all of my eyeshadow palettes. I look ridiculous. My top is covered in blue stains from where I spilt that eyeshadow, so this is going to have to go in the wash. But yeah, I love this. I'm gonna do a little zoomed in view of everything so you can see what they all look like. So I think from all of those swatches you can tell I have a really varied taste in what I like, and yeah, I think they all look great, to be honest. I'm very pleased, but also very excited to go and wash these off. I highly recommend that you do this with your collection. This was really fun to do, and it's nice to sort of just remind yourself what you have and what you love, and that you don't necessarily need loads of new things. Note to self, note to self. Tell me in the comments some of your favourite shades in your favourite palettes. I would love to know. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Eat good, drink good, take care of yourself. Lots of love. Cheers, thanks, and bye.